It's similar to the things you pray for but don't receive until you're prepared. Additionally, I believe that whatever is expanding, I was forced to do it. Because we had previously been in the same vicinity, Jennifer and I began to show interest in one another at the perfect moment. We had previously collaborated on projects together, but this was the first time we truly connected and had the opportunity to meet one another. With this guy, something simply doesn't add up, and Jennifer may have to pay the price in the end. Jennifer Hudson and Common continue to smile for the cameras, sharing just a few photos to appear flawless. However, don't let the gloss deceive you, because despite their efforts to keep it polished, the whispers that go on behind the scenes tell a very different tale. Jennifer, please watch out for that heart. The blogs frequently shout Common blast. But let's be honest, J. Hud, he is not required to bring her up during interviews. His past does the work for him. Before Jennifer, all women went through the same exact cycle. Calling his wife the nicest thing that has ever occurred to him, he enters like a charming dream. But he disappears like vapor in the wind the moment the word commitment appears in the conversation. And that's why, despite Jennifer's insistence that she's happy, fans are rooting for this romance. Not to be forgotten, following months of speculation, their love story was made public in 2022. People were initially cheering. An EGOT powerhouse is associated with a conscientious rapper. They appeared to be unstoppable. They had similar vibes. Everyone thought, okay, this is grown love finally done right, as their jobs balanced out. However, the smiles now appear quite rigid. Although the couple is still officially together, breakup rumors have been circulating since late 2023 and haven't stopped. The major red sign is that, while Jennifer remains subdued and elegant, Common abruptly becomes the loudest person in the room, doing all of the interviews and repeatedly stating how strong their friendship is. Members of the public ask, why? Does he sound like he's trying to convince us or himself? Common has a pattern that is far too obvious to ignore, which is where the risk lies. He couldn't stop telling the media how incredible Serena Williams was. He claimed that Tiffany Haddish inspired him more than anyone else. He went so far as to say that Taraji was the one. However, we are all aware of how those ended. Fading out when things become serious is common. Fans no longer hear romance when he gushes about Jennifer. They hear déjà vu. In actuality, Common has emerged as the most slick escape artist in Hollywood. He avoids making a big deal out of nothing. He doesn't utilize drama to provoke ugly breakups. When eternity becomes too burdensome, he simply fades away. Additionally, it is perilous for Jennifer's brand to be associated with a man who has a vanishing act habit, as she established her empire on talent, tenacity, and sheer class. Supporters claim that Common's own past, not a nasty altercation, is what's truly amazing, bursting with all the joy and a hint that his heartache playlist would soon include Jennifer. This is what adds even more heat. Keep a close eye on who is speaking in this relationship. As if it were part of his script, Common always mentions Jennifer whenever he gets a microphone. He describes her as an amazing human being and a blessing, even declared to Gayle King that he had at last met a genuine companion. It seems like the man is trying out for Husband of the Year because he is putting on such a strong front. Jennifer, meanwhile, is keeping her calm. She occasionally posts a cute picture, smiles when someone asks, and acknowledges that she's happy, but she never goes beyond. She is not obliged to. She hosts during the day and is an EGOT winner. Her brand exudes strength and stability rather than excessive sharing. She has put in too much effort to allow her personal life to dominate her empire. However, that is precisely what worries the fans. They've already seen this film. Common exclaims that he has at last found love, then falters when it matters most. Jennifer's quiet. Some believe she is defending her brand. Some believe she is allowing him to overplay his hand. The internet interprets it in one way or another. Common is putting forth extra effort to establish himself since he is aware of his disorganized past. And to be honest, that's what's really exciting here. It was his own previous relationships clashing with his current ones, not Jennifer disparaging him or Common disparaging her. Because the more he yells about his love, the more shaky everything starts to appear, regardless of how charming his interviews sound. He boasted about how she challenged him, how her intelligence illuminated every space, and how he liked her smile above all others. Okay, this is it, fans thought. At last, he discovered a woman who shared his vibe. However, Serena Williams didn't mince words when the split came. She stated unequivocally that they broke up because he was unable to make a long-term commitment. Common acknowledged years later that he was the one who withdrew. His justification was that I had to take care of myself. Please. That worn out line had been heard before, and it sounded no better the second time. In the middle of the 2000s, Taraji P. Hennon followed. There was no denying their romance. They both attested to it, and Common even exclaimed in interviews how unique she was. They have an unrivaled chemistry. But when it was over, Taraji, being Taraji, didn't hold back. She was honest. He simply wasn't prepared to provide her with the steadiness she required. There were no dramatic outbursts or accusations of infidelity, just the same old pattern of him disappearing indefinitely. Who could overlook Erykah Badu? The whole neo-soul community was buzzing over that relationship in the early 2000s. He moved as though under hypnosis, wrote about her and whoop-heaped about her. However, Common acknowledged years later that the breakup destroyed him. Erykah terminated the crazy portion because he was unable to stay for too long. The Badu effect is still made fun of by fans, but the reality is more repulsive. He drowned in desire and then fled when permanence arrived, repeating the same cycle. You guessed it, I wasn't prepared was his excuse. Now fast forward to Tiffany Haddish and her partner, the one couple that the internet truly cheered for. During the pandemic, they went public, and Tiffany lit up whenever she spoke his name. As usual, Common performed his role flawlessly, stating in interviews that she was attractive, encouraging, and someone he could envision a future with. Does that sound familiar? Because it ended not even 2 years later. Tiffany acknowledged that she was taken by surprise when Common used the excuse of having a busy schedule to address the media. He was constantly pulled by fans who pointed out that his schedule hadn't altered in 20 years. His willingness to commit was what changed. The trend is more obvious than any interview when you compare Serena, Taraji, Erykah, and Tiffany's relationships. The women are never the main focus. These women are strong, well-known, and prosperous in their own right. The man in the middle is the focus. Common established a reputation as the public-loving man who discreetly leaves when forever knocks. Fans therefore don't question what he says when they see Jennifer Hudson. Right now, they don't even question his emotions. However, they have previously seen the film several times and are aware of its conclusion. A recent scandal isn't the main topic of discussion. Jennifer is being warned that she could be the next victim by the echoes of all those women's stories echoing off the walls. The court of public opinion is one courtroom that consistently performs well. As of right now, social media has already adopted a new moniker: Hollywood Mr. Can't Commit. The memes are cruel. The chorus is being sung by shady Instagram captions, TikTok stitching, and Twitter threads. Commonplace has become commonplace. Translation: people think he will eventually back out, regardless of how amazing the woman is or how flawless things appears. Naturally, not everyone is cheering for the fall. Some supporters are optimistic about Jennifer, believing that she is the one who can change the course of events. If anyone can tame him, it's J. Hud, is one of the remarks they post. They believe she is too strong and well-established to repeat the same old narrative because of her egotism, talk show, and perseverance. The other half of the internet, meanwhile, is already forecasting heartbreak. Some even accuse Jennifer of lying to herself if she believes that this relationship is genuinely secure. However, Common does have some supporters. A devoted following is urging him to leave the man alone. Now that he is older and wiser, he is at last prepared to settle down. They cite his therapy sessions and interviews in which he talks about personal growth and introspection, claiming to have learned from his mistakes. This isn't history being repeated to them. A comeback tale is just waiting to be written. Jennifer's heart might be next on the chopping block if history truly does repeat itself. Let's face it, this goes beyond a simple romance between two celebrities. This is about their reputations, their legacies, and the reason why everyone is watching like it's a slow-motion primetime drama. Jennifer Hudson should come first. She is more than just another famous person. She is among the few performers who have been awarded the Golden EGOT's crown: Tony, Oscar, Grammy, and Emmy. She also has her own talk show during the day, and a well-cultivated reputation as a role model, a survivor, and a lady who has used adversity to her advantage. Resilience, overcoming tragedy and loss, and always emerging stronger is the theme of Jennifer's entire brand. Her supporters are now extremely protective of them as a result. She has endured too much hardship, worked too hard, and carried too much shame to be bound to a man who might simply go when the word forever is spoken. Common has a strong resume now as well, an actor who effortlessly landed a role in Hollywood, a Grammy and Oscar winner, and a respected political leader. His brand is the wise, soulful, and deeply conscientious rapper. This is the stain, nevertheless, that he is unable to remove. That Mr. Commitment-phobic tag has been attached to him by all of his unsuccessful relationships. Every well-publicized split has contributed to the mythos. Supporters claim that although he will send you poems, compliment you, and refer to you as his queen, he will not marry you when it counts most. The stakes increase dramatically when those two brands are combined. It won't be just another split if Common pulls off his old disappearance act on Jennifer Hudson. It's going to be a PR nightmare. He will be ridiculed on the internet for carrying out everyone's prediction. Jennifer will have to defend her enterprise while avoiding news reports about yet another heartbreak. Already, fans are speculating that she is deceiving herself. Her carefully constructed image prevents her from acknowledging that she might be falling into the same trap that captured Serena, Taraji, Tiffany, and Erica, not because they believe she is weak. And that's where the real fun happens. Jennifer doesn't have to be shaded by Common. His past is already loudly criticizing her. Regardless of how many times he calls her great in interviews, no matter how much he brags about discovering a real love, the internet can clearly hear the echoes of those previous relationships echoing in the background. What comes next then? The opinions of fans are divided. Some people think Jennifer has the willpower, strength to end the cycle and force Common to settle down for good. Some people don't believe it. They believe she is merely the latest name on a lengthy series of heartbreaks, a brief phase before he goes on once more. In any case, romance is no longer the only aspect of this love tale. It has to do with image, legacy, and reputation. Common Man will not only be known as a man who fell in love and then fled if he proves the naysayers correct. He will always be known as the man who was incapable of committing. It will also put Jennifer's renowned fortitude to the test once more. Another opportunity to demonstrate to the world how she overcomes tragedy with more strength than